Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to help you zero in on the most compelling ideas and maybe some unexpected insights from the information you share with us.
That's right. And today we're really digging into the coffee market. This comes from a blog post you sent over from Cognitive Market Research.
Ah, yeah, I remember that one. Why coffee brands focus on flavor while consumers buy for lifestyle. Bit of a contradiction right there in the title.
Exactly. So our mission today is really to unpack this. This relationship between how brands push flavor, perfection, all that,
Yeah.
and what the research suggests consumers actually prioritize now, which seems increasingly to be about lifestyle alignment.
It really feels like coffee's journey, doesn't it? From just, a morning kickstart to something much bigger, a cultural thing.
Definitely. It's become a part of identity for so many.
Yeah.
Now think back. Traditionally, coffee companies, what was their main game?
Oh, flavor. Absolutely flavor. Brands pouring like huge amounts of money and effort into that perfect cup.
Precisely. They're talking about, obsessively fine-tuning roast profiles, playing with all sorts of fancy brewing methods.
Getting those specific beans, right? Like single origin, volcanic soil, all that.
Exactly. It was all built around delivering a top-notch sensory product, quality first.
And the thinking was, well, pretty simple, right? Great taste equals loyal customers. They'll come back for that specific flavor.
And look, let's be super clear. Taste quality, still vital. I mean, nobody wants stale, burnt coffee.
Right, of course.
But the real insight here, according to this source, is that good taste is becoming, well, almost like the price of admission. It's the baseline expectation.
You just assume it'll be decent.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily make you choose that specific brand over another good one. Not always. And
So this is where it gets interesting. Brands are deep in the flavor lab, but consumers are thinking about something else. Lifestyle.
that's the core argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
For like a growing number of people buying coffee, it's not just what's in the cup. It's an extension of them, who they are or maybe who they want to be.
Okay, so what does that look like? What kind of values or lifestyles are we talking about?
Well, the analysis mentions things like environmental consciousness. So maybe picking a brand known for being sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
or wellness coffees that feel like clean energy or fit into a health routine, or maybe it signals, a certain kind of urban creative vibe.
So even if maybe two or three brands taste pretty good, the one that clicks with your identity, that's the winner.
That's what the research suggests. The source really emphasizes that flavor, even with all that R&D behind it, can often play second fiddle to the emotional connection, the story, the feeling the brand gives off.
So is it just that brands are kind of missing the mark? Obsessing over taste while buyers are looking for vibes?
The post argues it's maybe a bit more nuanced than just a disconnect. They call it a sophisticated dance.
A dance. Okay.
Yeah, between getting the product right, the flavor, and building that connection, the lifestyle part, and the key to getting the steps right. Market research. Deep market research.
Ah, okay. So research is the bridge here. What does that research actually tell them about coffee drinkers?
Well, it goes way beyond just, do you like dark roast? It tries to tap into deeper sort of psychographic cues.
Like what they really care about.
Exactly. These research methods, things like segmentation, ethnographic studies, trend analysis, all that stuff, they help uncover what your coffee choice might say about your values, your goals, your daily grind.
And how does that actually come out? Like, what do people say?
That's the interesting part. The research apparently picks up on people using phrases like, this just fits my morning ritual perfectly, or, yeah, this brand totally gets my vibe.
Ah, so it's less about bold taste or smooth finish.
Often, yeah. Those lifestyle phrases seem to pop up more, suggesting that's often the real purchase driver, even if they don't consciously articulate it that way every time.
Okay, that makes the shift much clearer. So flavor development isn't wasted effort. It just serves a different purpose now.
Precisely. Flavor is still absolutely critical, but this analysis frames it less as the end goal and more as, like, the foundation. It needs to be there to make the lifestyle story believable. It supports the narrative.
So brands are actually designing flavors to match these identities.
Yes, using flavor innovation to sort of reflect or even boost that identity the consumer wants. Think about the examples they gave.
Right, like the wellness crowd.
Exactly. Brands targeting them might not just sell coffee, but maybe a turmeric-infused cold brew or those adaptogenic mushroom lattes you see around.
Interesting. So the flavor itself is part of the wellness message.
Right. It's not just taste for taste's sake. It's part of this like holistic health thing.
Right.
Or, on the flip side, a brand aiming for that rugged, adventurous feel.
They'd go for something bold,
Yeah.
intense.
Maybe a really bold espresso blend. The flavor profile itself embodies that thrill-seeking image they're selling.
And this isn't just guesswork, right? This link between flavor and lifestyle is driven by that market research we talked about.
Totally. It's data-driven storytelling. Research might show them, for example, that people who like bright floral coffees also tend to value experiences, minimalist design, maybe practice mindfulness. So then the brand can build a whole story around that, using that specific flavor profile as a key ingredient in the lifestyle package.
So why now? Why is lifestyle becoming so powerful in the coffee world right at this moment? What's pushing this?
The source points pretty directly at social media and influencer culture.
Ah, makes sense. Coffee is so visual online.
Totally. Just think about Instagram feeds, TikToks. You see the latte art, the cool minimalist packaging, the branded mug sitting on the desk. It's all used as a prop, a symbol within a certain lifestyle look.
Right. And the result is, well, people are maybe making buying decisions based more on that online image, that visual story, than just the taste alone.
It's a really powerful idea the source puts forward.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people choose coffee less for the, nuanced tasting notes and more for how holding that specific cup makes them feel or look, how it aligns with the image they want to project.
Can you give us a couple of those specific examples again? The lifestyle first choices.
Sure. They mentioned, like, a gym goer deliberately picking a sugar-free nitro cold brew. It fits perfectly into that fitness routine, that identity. It's functional, it's clean.
It's part of the workout gear almost.
Kind of. Or the example of a creative type choosing an artisan pour-over from a local, maybe very aesthetically focused roaster. Part of the appeal there is the craft, the look, the story. It resonates with their own identity.
So in those cases, the lifestyle match is really the hook, even if the coffee itself is just, good, not necessarily mind-blowing compared to others.
Right. And again, the coffee still has to deliver a decent experience, otherwise you won't buy it again. But that initial pull, the thing that gets you to try that one, increasingly it's that lifestyle connection. Brands that aren't speaking that language won't be missing out.
And the analysis backed this up with some hard data too, didn't it?
Yes, definitely. They brought up an insight from the Allegra World Coffee Portal. This was back in 2022. It showed a really big chunk of market growth was coming from these non-traditional areas. Think functional beverages.
Like coffee with added stuff.
Yeah, coffees with nootropics for focus, adaptogens for stress, CBD, that kind of thing.
And how did brands react to that finding?
Well, it clearly signaled a lifestyle trend: health, wellness, performance. So seeing that growth area identified by research, brands started moving into those categories. They developed new products, new flavors, specifically designed to meet that emerging lifestyle demand. The research literally pointed the way for innovation.
And there was that other stat from the National Coffee Association too.
Oh yeah, that was striking. Their 2023 report had a fast fact. 70%, 70, of American coffee drinkers say brand values and identity are as important as flavor.
Wow, as important.
As important. And they specifically called out that this is even more true for millennials and Gen Z. That's a huge indicator of this shift.
And what about looking at competitors? How does that fit in?
Good point. The analysis mentioned competitive analysis, but not just about flavor profiles. It's about how other lifestyle-focused brands position themselves.
Okay.
So the example was seeing a competitor gain ground using, say, biodegradable pods and really pushing a zero-waste message.
Right, sustainability focus.
Exactly. So another brand might see that success and think, okay, we need to tap into that shared value too.
Right.
Not by copying the flavor necessarily, but by launching their own eco-friendly packaging or maybe highlighting their sustainable sourcing. They're competing on the lifestyle turf.
This has been, well, really eye-opening, a proper deep dive into how we think about coffee now.
It really changes your perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the conclusion from the analysis seems pretty clear. Navigating this market successfully means brands need to keep investing in consumer insight, understanding those deeper motivations, and getting really good at telling their brand story.
So the big takeaway is flavor isn't the star player anymore. It's foundational, sure, but it's really the gateway.
It's the gateway to that richer brand experience, yeah. The one built around lifestyle, connection, values.
It's about making that emotional link, that social fit.
Exactly. That's where the real resonance seems to be happening now.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive. Based on the analysis you brought in, while brands are still, heavily invested in flavor, consumer choices are increasingly driven by something else. how well a brand fits their desired lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And that shift is being amplified by things like social media,
Mm.
and it's being understood and leveraged through really sophisticated market research.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you listening in to maybe mull over next time you grab a coffee. If flavor is now perhaps more of a baseline requirement, a support act for the lifestyle narrative,
Yeah.
how far will brands keep pushing pure taste innovation just for taste's sake? And what could that mean for, the actual objective quality of coffee in the future?
Hmm. That's a really interesting question to chew on.
Definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for bringing in this source material. It gave us a fantastic deep dive today.